carrying the wound of the divide between the masculine and feminine. And as I live this life, this experience, continuing to judge this wound, continuing to be like, men and women are divided, and continuing to be like, women are suppressed, and continuing to judge patriarchy and all of these things, to continue to judge like, oh, men think that they're better than me, or judge like, oh, other women feel my pain. By carrying those beliefs and those judgments of those around me, I was continuing to create this reality for myself. I was continuing to experience men and women that lived this judgment that I carried, okay? And so it's the whole concept of we are the creator of our own realities. And just a little snippet on that, you can watch my other video of we are a creator of our realities if you want to really dive deeper into this, which I suggest you do because it's like my favorite thing in the world. But the whole idea is that we, with our thoughts and our emotions and our actions and our state of being, we shift and change our vibration of our atoms inside of us and our energy inside of us. And then that expands into our aura, and that changes the energy in our aura. And then that expands even farther and literally shifts the energy of our entire reality. And so everything is made up of atoms. And so by us shifting the vibrational frequency of our own atoms with our thoughts, our opinions, our emotions, our state of being, we can shift the frequency at the rate of which the atoms in our reality vibrate. And therefore we can literally change our reality. And so simply put, not a scientific way, because you can study the law of attraction, you can study the 7 Hermetic principles and read the Kabbalion if you're interested in knowing more about this. But simply put, what I mean is that what we believe in our mind with our thoughts, like on a day-to-day basis, moment-to-moment basis, like what we truly believe, what we truly say to ourselves in our minds creates our reality. How we truly feel about our lives and our current state of being creates our reality. And so you can literally shift your whole reality into everything you've ever wanted by believing that you have it, by believing that you're worth it, you're worthy of it. And what I'm talking about here is that the way that we stop ourselves from doing that, the way that we stay stuck in the wheel of karma, the way that we stay stuck in the maze that is known as Samsara in Buddhism, the way we just stay stuck in our lives is by believing that we have limitations, because the only limitations that manifest in our life are the ones we believe, okay? And the only obstacles that are in our life are the ones that we believe. The only consequences that happen in our life are the ones like that we worry about before the action of like, oh, but if I do this, these are all the consequences that can manifest. You're literally creating those consequences for yourself. And so the way that we keep ourselves stuck and hold ourselves back from literally being the creator of our reality is by believing that we have limitations. The only limitations we will experience are the ones we believe. And by judging ourselves and other people. Because back to my original point, which is all connected obviously, but back to my original point of the idea that we will continue to experience what we judge until we no longer judge it. That is the idea of the maze of samsara or the wheel of karma. That if I continue to judge the masculine and feminine wound as this bad thing and that men are going to treat me differently, and I continue to judge men for that, and I judge women for that, and I judge myself from that, I am literally going to continue to experience this reality of masculine and feminine separation until I no longer judge it. And then once I transmute it and I let it go and I stop judging it, I will literally, this has happened in my reality, I literally stop experiencing it, okay? And so not only are we the creators of our own reality in a positive way, but we are also the creators of our own reality in like a negative way. What we judge of ourselves and others, the limitations that we believe, literally create our own reality. And so the ways that you can kind of work with letting go of judgment, because, you know, it's kind of a big concept to just be like, I do away with judgment, is this. And I'll do a whole nother separate video on this too. So stay tuned or look out for my video of like, we are all one, or we are all God. Because it's kind of a bigger concept, but to kind of just give you a quick synopsis is that I've traveled the world. I've studied many religions and spiritual modalities. I've met people from all over. And what I've come to learn is that we are all talking about the same God. Whether you call it the God, the universe, goddesses, energy, whatever you call it, we are all experiencing the same thing. This energy, this loving, omnipotent presence of energy and protection and divinity and guidance around us, okay? And then religions manifest because we put our cultural spin on things based on what the culture is of the land, or controlling powers that be or at bay can try to change books and things and religions in order to control the people. Okay, so, but my point is that we're all experiencing this beautiful, energetic experience of God. And how I see God is that God is everything. Pretty much that like God exists and is this one beautiful force of love. And that's just it. That's God. And God wanted to experience itself. God wanted to raise its consciousness and its frequency and its experiences by literally experiencing life and experiencing itself. And so what I mean is that God, being one presence of love and energy, split itself into many incarnations and into many different forms of life to have billions upon billions of experiences, to be able to experience itself in all these different ways and share this love, and to be able to, by having experiences, whether positive or negative, it's learning and it's growing, right? And so the only way for God, this one energetic force of love, to experience itself is by dividing itself. And so my point is that everything in the universe and multi-universe and existence is God, just dividing itself into multiple different incarnations to experience itself. And so this is why we all feel this like presence of love everywhere, this presence of God everywhere. And so every plant, every animal, everything has consciousness and is God experiencing life, experiencing itself and interacting together. And so I know it's kind of a big concept, but my point is that for me, at least, what helps me to not judge other people is to understand that like, oh, everybody else that's living a life is just another part of God, is just me, is the same soul as me, which is God. It is, we're all God. And, you know, if you really want to challenge this belief, sit internally and meditate and feel into yourself, and you'll eventually see what I mean. Or you can check out my video on the 7 steps of meditation to connect with God inside yourself. But my point is that if I look at the person next to me and I just remember that, oh, you're just another form of God here experiencing your own reality in order to grow and experience life. And then it helps me completely melt away every judgment I could ever have of that person, of whether they were living life right or wrong or however I think of it, because we are not meant to have the same experience. I am meant to experience life in one way, and they are meant to experience life in another way. And that is just literally God manifesting themselves on earth to have experiences, to experience itself and to grow its consciousness through these experiences. Have you ever thought about the fact that challenges are such better teachers than if something's easy? Okay, I learn something if something's easy, I learn something if something's hard, but I learn way more from challenges. And so the point of suffering is literally that we grow. We raise our consciousness. We have experiences. When we suffer, suffering is a great teacher and we learn. I'm not saying that suffering is great. I don't want to suffer either, but it helps me to not judge myself for suffering. It helps me to not judge suffering. It helps me to not judge somebody else for what they're experiencing. And so when we can let go, of judging ourselves and other people's experiences and just understand that we're all God living out life, just for the purpose of living, just for the purpose of experiencing and raising our consciousness, then we can completely let go of all of our judgments and limitations. And that is enlightenment. That is how we break free from samsara, from the wheel of karma, by accepting and loving everything without judgment. And when we get to do that, when we stop judging ourselves, we stop putting limitations on ourselves. And so when we accept and love ourselves and remember that we are the creators of our reality, we can create anything, guys. You can create your wildest dreams. You can have a blast. Life can be easy and fun if we believe that it's easy and fun. And so that was a lot of big banging concepts there, but send some comments below if you have questions, if you want me to elaborate on things. I'll continue to talk more about this. It's like my favorite subject at the moment. I send you so much love and blessings. Have a beautiful day.